I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whatever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. That's a quote from Steve Jobs. Welcome, and let us pray our invocation to Spirit this morning. Be with us today, Spirit, as we come together in this sacred space to share our love with each other. We ask for our guides, our angels, and our ancestors to gather close to us so that we may feel and know their presence, love, and support. We ask for the higher master teachers to grant us wisdom and insight, and we call you in, using the prayer that the Master Jesus taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Rev Rose Vanden Eynden, if you don't know me. I see a few new faces here that I am not familiar with, so welcome. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad you've been here before and that you decided to come back and see us again. So we are going to celebrate a lovely service today on this. It is a little chilly this morning, but you know, we'll warm things up because we'll be singing and Spirit will come. Spirit's already here, so that's why this space gets so warm anyway. But we're going to open with our music now before we do our lecture for today. So if you would do that for us. Oh, that was lovely. Thank you, Michael Jackson's very high voice when he was a boy. And if you notice in your bulletin, all of the little quotes that are in there are about robins. So that was very, we like to try and tie things together every time here. In addition to us having our beginnings of spring that are sort of being seen around, we are also celebrating today a super new moon, which is what I'm going to talk with you about today so that you can use this wonderful super new moon energy to make some changes in your own life if you choose to do that. The super new moon this month is in Pisces, and it is today. So today is a great day. It's Sunday. You can spend the rest of your day contemplating the changes and things that you would like to make in your life. It's the perfect time to do that. I'm going to share with you why in a few minutes, astrologically speaking. And as many of you who have heard me talk about astrology before, I am not an astrologer. I know enough to make me dangerous, as I always say. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff you can learn about astrology that will help just help you define the different patterns of energy that are around us in the world. And I believe very strongly that if we learn about those kinds of energies, then we can also learn how to use those energies in a productive and positive way to make changes in our own lives and hopefully then in the lives of the people around us. And I believe very strongly that that's why these energies were given to us. So that's why the study of astrology, numerology, healing work, energy work, all of those things are so great to study, because I think they're tools that we can use in our lives. And we were just talking about personal responsibility. Spiritualists, and the spiritualist philosophy is based on the idea of personal responsibility, that there is no one who can do these things for us. We do these things for ourselves. And in doing those, we on our own journey, our spiritual journey, we move towards our own enlightenment. And that's what we are interested in and hoping to do in our path here on the earth. So yes, today is the Pisces super new moon, and it opens a doorway into new and magical territory. So that's exciting. If you don't know this, Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. So once Pisces energy goes out in a few weeks, we'll be in Aries energy. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so we are going into this new, fresh astrological year. So we're at the very tail end of the astrology year, and we're going into the new energy of the astrological year. And that will happen after this new moon today. But this new moon today is sort of setting the energy and sort of paving the way for a lot of transformation to be able to happen. New moons are always the start of a new cycle of energy. If you are interested in those kinds of things, anytime there's a new moon, it's a great time to set intentions for what you want to see happening in your life in the cycle that's coming up. Okay, so even though you can't see the moon in the sky, because new moon means that it's completely dark and you can't see the moon itself, it is the time to be in your own sort of meditative space, sort of in your own dark space, where you can go within and meditate and find what kinds of changes and things that you want to see in your own life, and then use the moon energy to help propel those forward. So this new cycle, like I said, is moving us into the astrological new year, and it's also moving us towards the eclipse season. There are eclipses coming up, several of them, that are going to be very transformative, and we'll talk a little bit about those as well. Pisces energy is all about things like dreaming and intuitive work and visualizing. That's what Pisces is, a water sign. Has that deep resonance of feeling, and feeling is very connected to intuition and psychic work. So this is the perfect time to really examine your personal dreams, the dreams that you have for yourself in your life, what goals you're setting for yourself, and also to pay attention to the dreams that you have at night. And there may be messages that are coming to you in those dreams, because Pisces really stirs up that sort of energy. And so if you keep a dream notebook, or even just a pad of paper next to your bed when you wake up, and just jot down a few things that you remember from your dreams, you may find that you start to see symbols that are representing things that you've seen in your dreams that are starting to come to play in your life. It's just another way that Spirit gives us messages. And if we're aware of that, we can, again, use that to help us move forward. So you may also feel very creative at this time. Creativity energy is very high with this Pisces new moon. So if you are a creative person in any way, shape, or form, and creating something is not just about being a painter or being, a poet, or it can be about baking new things and kitchen witchery, kitchen stuff, those kinds of things. Anything that you create with your hands, or any kind of work that you do that has that creative impulse, you might find that that's strengthened at this time. And if you are a writer or a painter or any kind of creative person that has that type of thing that you do, this is a great time to really focus on those kinds of projects, because the energy of Pisces and the new moon is really supporting imagining things, supporting daydreaming. It's supporting conjuring up new inspirations, new ideas. So it's a great time to be open to that. So, I always used to get in trouble at school for daydreaming. And if I wasn't talking, I was daydreaming. And so now is a great time to just take a few minutes to just sit and just see what kinds of ideas come to you. Just see what kinds of inspirations come to you. Because Pisces will stir that sort of energy up. So the March new moon is really one of the best this year for tending to your creative fire, whatever that is, whatever it is that you have a fire about making happen. That's what creativity is making something happen. And diving really deep into your own dreams and your intuitive processes. So this is a really great time too for things like meditation, for anybody who is interested in heightening their mediumship skills, their psychic skills, anything that has to do with metaphysics, because again, Pisces is about that sort of deeper layer of consciousness that we all have, and we don't always access it, but now is a great time to do that and to tap into that. So setting up your intuitive practice, whatever that might be, if you don't do a meditation every day, but you want to start doing that, this is a great time to set that goal and to start doing that. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it's enough to bring you into a state of alignment with your own self, with your own soul, and then to open yourself up to whatever inspirations and guidance that Spirit might have for you. I always tell our students, our mediumship students, it's better to meditate 5 minutes a day than to try to meditate 30 minutes like once a week. Because the more that you do it, the more that you set that energy and you set that as a habit, the more it starts to become prevalent in your own life, and the easier it becomes. And you'll find that, you look forward to that time rather than going, oh God, I have to meditate now.
Amen.
Amen. See?
Amen.
Ha-ha. Got somebody out there that's amening. So give yourself permission to do that. Sometimes that's part of that problem too, is that we just don't give ourselves permission. Or for whatever reason we resist it. I'm a big resistor. I don't know why. But if I've got something on my schedule, and it feels like it's too, I don't know. How is it hard to sit in a chair and be quiet for 5 minutes? But for some reason I resist that, I don't know why I do, but I do. So being able to say, okay, I feel that resistance, but you know what? I'm gonna step past that and I'm gonna sit in my chair for 5 minutes. That's what you can be doing at this time, and it's a great practice to start. So taking any kind of creative action is supported under this new moon, any kind of creative action. But it's also advised that you not get too in your head about it, okay? Sometimes whatever it is that we're trying to achieve in life, whether it's painting something new or writing something new, haha, that's a message for me, or creating something new for the family, or whatever, a new job, or I need to create a new home for myself, or I need to create new relationships for myself, whatever it is, a lot of times we get into our head about it, which is all about that idea of, well, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? Yeah, action is important, but it's not the most important part of things. And especially in Pisces energy, it's about letting the energy flow and getting out of your headspace so that you can allow the universe to work its magic. That's what Pisces energy is really about, is that flow. It's about feeling into things and not being intellectual about it so much. I live with 3 men in my life who are all deep thinkers, and they're wonderful, wonderful, smart men, but sometimes they overthink everything. And I have to remind them sometimes that, you're getting in your own way because all you're doing is overthinking it. Let the universe open something up for you. And that's not easy. I get it. It's hard to kind of surrender sometimes to that energy. But Pisces energy itself is very fluid. And so if you can kind of feel into that fluid part of the energy within yourself and within the universe that's at work right now, then it's a lot easier to just say, I'm going to let the universe worry about how those doors are going to open for me. I'm just going to set the intention that those doors are going to open, and I'm going to allow the universe to do its work. Trust your inner voice. That's a really big piece of Pisces energy as well. And one of the ways that you learn to trust your inner voice is by becoming quiet so you can hear that inner voice. And that's what meditation is. It's that idea of, I'm taking a few minutes, I'm going within, and I'm listening. and I'm seeing what comes to me. It may not be something you hear, it may be something you see or something you feel or something you imagine and you're conceptualizing in your brain. But that's what that magic is, that trusting of the inner voice. Ooh, I feel this, and I'm going to trust that. And Pisces energy is really going to support that. So don't get wrapped up in the details. It wants you to, this energy is about listening to your heart and trusting the flow. So if you're going through a challenging time for some reason right now, one of the things that you can do to sort of avoid that tendency to control or to plan is to do that exercise of getting into your own body. Sometimes just being more physically present for yourself gets you out of your head, and just concentrating on what's going on in your body. So if you go for a walk or just, do some stretching or yoga or something it doesn't have to be something like high impact exercise. It can be something that you enjoy, or maybe you don't enjoy it as much, because I don't enjoy exercise, but I do like to walk. I do love to be walking outside in nature, like in the parks and things. So if that's something that you like, concentrate on your body and letting that manifest happen without it being in your head all the time. Neptune, which is the planet of hopes and dreams, is very prevalent at this time as well. It's conjunct the new moon, and conjunct means that it's working in harmony with this new moon energy. So Neptune is really active right now under this new moon. So that is also creating some wonderful supportive energies around intention setting. And it especially is around setting intentions for the future, whether it be the future a few days from now or 6 or 12 months from now. That Neptune energy is also really supporting the idea of let's set goals for that. So what do you want to create? Where do you see yourself, or where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months? Those are questions to ask yourself now. And it can be about all the aspects of your life, or it can be about specific aspects of your life. Maybe there's something in your work life that you want to change, or your relationships, or your family life, whatever it is. Those are the kinds of things that you can say, where do I want to be in 6 to 12 months? Where do I see myself? What do I want to see happening within my family? What do I want to see happening in my job? And this is the energy to do that and to support that. And we're actually going to do something similar to that in our meditation here in just a little bit.
Yay.
Yay! You don't have to listen to me prattle. So know that kind of a practice, which we're going to do today, is going to help send that energy out into the universe. So it has a practical application for all you practical people. One thing to also work on in this kind of energy is visualization. So I am not a visual person necessarily. I don't have very good vision in my own actual eyes. And so I think my inner eye is a little, I don't know, myopic as well. So when people talk about clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, the way that we get messages, the way we receive information, I'm not especially clairvoyant, so I don't see a lot of things. But what I do is I practice visualizing things, because that can strengthen your clairvoyance, and it also is great for using when you're trying to imagine what you want your life to be like. So just visualize, practicing visualizing. And one way to do that that's really easy, if you feel like you don't know how to do that, is to just close your eyes and see the bedroom that you used to be in when you were a kid. And just imagine yourself back in that bedroom. And remember and imagine visually in your mind what kinds of things were in the room. Okay, you can do that with any room in your house. It doesn't have to be your kid's bedroom if that was not some place that you were particularly fond of. Pick a place that you know well, but just go into your inner eye, your inner mind, and visualize what that looks like. That's a great way to enhance and start to build your visualization skills, because all you're doing is remembering, and you know what it looked like. So in visualizing what it looked like, you're training your mind to be able to visualize something. So then you can apply that to your own visualizations of what you want your life to look like. So maybe I'm going to visualize what I want my new house to look like. Or maybe I'm going to visualize what my new job is going to look like when I have a new job. Maybe I'm going to visualize what my new relationship is going to look like. You're not visualizing the person in the relationship. You're visualizing what the relationship is going to be. Okay? So it's not about necessarily saying, oh, do you want to create a tall, dark, and handsome stranger? Fine. But I like to leave a little room for the universe to work. So if the right person is not the tall, dark, and handsome guy, and it's the other person, then I'd rather that the universe bring me the right person, not what I'm visualizing necessarily. But those are some things that you can work on, or some things that you can do, and they only take a few minutes a day. It's pretty simple. So this is a super new moon. Basically, when someone talks about a super moon, it just means that the moon itself, the physical body of the moon, is really close to the Earth right now. And so that means that the energy is stronger because it's closer to us. It doesn't have to travel quite so far to get to us. So this is actually the second super new moon in a lineup of moons that are coming for the next few months, and the eclipses that I was talking about before. So having so many super new moons in a row, astrologers think that is an indication that we're really having the universe give us a very supportive time to begin new chapters and to focus on new beginnings. Yeah, right?
We need that.
That's nice. Those are good things. So it's worthwhile mentioning too that we also have 0 planets in retrograde right now. So, a lot of people talk about Mercury retrograde. Everybody knows that Mercury retrograde, well, most people think that Mercury retrograde is a terrible time. It's really not. But they're just things that you have to watch for, just like any other time. But there are 0 planets right now in retrograde, which means there are no planets moving backwards in the sky or moving against the flow right now. So again, that gives us a lot of forward movement momentum towards moving toward the future and focusing on that energy of new beginnings. So the universe is really supporting all of this right now. So now we have to do the work to make our lives different. That's personal responsibility. This is a great, again, holding that vision. That's why visualization is important too. Holding that vision, or being able to visualize what you want, is one of the reasons that this is such a great time, and that's the best practice to do. So we are in the doorway to eclipse season as well. So I know a lot of people know that there's a big solar eclipse coming up in April, and yes, we have already planned where we're going so we can see the solar eclipse, and my husband has ordered his little solar eclipse glasses so that we can watch the solar eclipse. But before that, we also have moon eclipses, lunar eclipses that are coming up. So new moons are the start of the lunar cycle, full moons are the peak of the lunar cycle, and the full moon that follows this new moon that's coming up is actually a lunar eclipse. So that adds to the power that that full moon is bringing. So eclipses are always highly transformative times. They tend to bring shifts. They can bring upheavals, especially on things like the world stage. So if you follow the news, and it's always interesting to say, look what's happening. Well, we have this lunar eclipse. Isn't that interesting? But it is a time for us as spiritual people to reach higher levels of consciousness. And that's what eclipses are also about. Eclipses move us where we need to be, whether we want to go or not. Okay, so if you can move with the energy rather than trying to move against the energy, you're probably going to have a much easier time. The eclipse that follows this new moon is going to shine a spotlight on relationships. So if you have relationships in your own life that you want to see change or different or new or whatever you need in those relationships, You might want to start working on that in this Pisces new moon, because the lunar eclipse then will also help to heighten that to happen and to make those changes in relationships. It's a time that you may find yourself to be more compassionate and forgiving, which is also a wonderful thing to be and a wonderful thing to work on in your life. If there's somebody that needs forgiveness or something about yourself that you want to forgive, then this is a great time to do that. It is important to not have your rose-colored glasses on though when it comes to relationships. So it's a caution not to still be practical in relationships, even if they're feeling, just make sure that you're balanced in the relationships that you're maintaining, and that you're not looking at something and sort of letting something go because, oh, it'll get better. Well, will it get better? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but maybe you need to look at that a little closer. If you do have any really important decisions to make especially concerning relationships, but I would take this as good advice as we go forward into the lunar cycle. It's probably better to wait until the lunar eclipse has passed, and that is on March 25th, so that you have all the information you need in order to make a good decision about something. So if you're deciding, if you're creating a new house for yourself, or you're creating a new job for yourself, that's great, and you might start to get offers, or you might start to see things that you want, or you might start to see opportunities coming. It's probably better to wait until after the 25th to actually take the new job or to take the house. You don't have to do that, because again, if you're working with these energies, there are ways to work with them so that you can actually do what you need to do moving forward and you don't lose an opportunity. But more than likely, the bigger opportunities, the better opportunities are going to come after March 25th. So that gives you a little idea of some of the energy that we're in right now and what you can be working with in order to make some changes in your life. So we're going to take a few minutes now. We're going to do a meditation exercise to try and bring us some of those wonderful things that we've been talking about. So I would invite you to go ahead and get comfortable in your chair and close your eyes.
Are we going to have a full moon tonight?
No, tonight's the new moon.
Alright, so that's not going to put our emotions out of whack?
Well, in this new moon it might.
Okay.
Because Pisces is all about feelings. So there's a good chance that if you're feeling a little, I don't know,
Offbeat.
Yeah, happy, emotional, all of those things, that's Pisces. That's Pisces energy. So it's probably a time just to be aware of that, and to know that sometimes our emotions are great ways to judge things. And sometimes, you got to remember, okay, it's being influenced by something. How do I find balance? Got it?
Got it.
Yeah. All right, so I'd invite you, close your eyes.
Do you want some music?
Please?
Do you want some music?
Yes, please. And let yourself get comfortable in your chair for a minute.
Nope, sorry.
No music? Okay, that's fine too. And just allow yourself in this moment to go within, to allow yourself to have these moments of quiet, and to bring your attention to your breath. Breath in and breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in and breath out. And as you continue breathing in and breathing out at your own pace, let every breath that you take in bring you more peace and relaxation. And with every breath out, allow yourself to be more relaxed, to release tension, to release stress, to to release any expectations, to release the day that has come before this moment. Letting go of any thoughts, breathing in that peace, breathing out and letting go, being in this moment, here in this place and time. There's nowhere else that you need to be. There's nothing else that you need to be doing. Just breathing in and breathing out. And now as you continue breathing, allow yourself to let your imagination expand. And allow yourself to imagine what a perfect day for yourself would look like. What would a perfect day be in your life? So imagine yourself waking up on a perfect day and see in your mind's eye, see in your imagination what that looks like. What's around you? How do you feel as you wake up? And imagine what you'll be doing in that perfect day in the morning after you wake up. What kinds of things will you give your attention to in the morning? And as the morning moves on, what kinds of things do you want to do or accomplish that day, that perfect day? Are there other people that you want to see or be with? Are there places that you want to go or visit? Are there actions that you want to take, work or play that you want to do? And just take a few minutes now in the quiet to imagine those things that you would be doing, the people you would be seeing, how you would be spending your time in that perfect day. Take some time to do that now. begin to finish up whatever imagined thing that you are doing at this moment in your perfect day. And allow yourself to move on into the evening of your perfect day, into how you will end your day. And if there's something that you didn't get to in your perfect day, don't worry. You can always have another perfect day tomorrow to do that. But for now, just imagine what the ending of your perfect day would look like. Visualize that. And in visualizing these things, know that you're sending out to the universe energies of what you want to create for yourself. And perhaps there was something very specific in what you created that you want to concentrate on even more. You can always go back in your own meditation time to concentrate on that. Riding this energy of the new moon. And so allow yourself now to breathe in again, to breathe out. As you do, allow yourself to become more aware once again of this physical space and this physical time. Here in your chair, feel your feet on the floor, feel into your body once more. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, slowly coming back to this physical place. Wide awake and relaxed. Wide awake